Reason why you brought this ex parte application before the Supreme Court and the order of the court this morning?
We invoked the original decision of Supreme Court when there's a dispute between the state government and federal government. It's one of the few occasions where Supreme Court has the original jurisdiction. So we invoked the powers of the Supreme Court to hear this application. The reason for it is that as well-intentioned as this policy of federal government of the design is working hardship all over the country. As we can all see, banks are being harassed, Nigerians are suffering needless, especially the downtrodden. Those in the urban areas, they're having problems, but it's more excruciating at the rural area. So these three state governments, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Kogi, deem it fit for us to invoke the powers of Supreme Court to intervene. And the Supreme Court has not just the final court, but a court of policy in its considered ruling saw merits in the application and restrained the federal government and by extension the Central Bank of Nigeria from desisting from going ahead on 10th of February that the supply of the new notes will stop. So that is what has happened today.
Okay, let us see, to put it in a very clear and plain term to the layman on the street, what does this mean? What does it mean?
So what it means is that
So I love the last question that the pressmen or newsmen and newswomen asked the man. They said, what does this mean? They said the Supreme Court has restrained the federal government from enforcing its order on February 10 deadline to submit the old notes. That's 1,000 naira, 500 naira, 200 naira. He needed to tell her what it means, to the layman. Does it mean that after February 10 we can still be using the old 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and 200 naira? Because when you look at the terms used by this, by them at the judiciary, you'll be confused. You won't even know what their judgment is, or you won't even know what their decision is. So, for me and every other one I believe out there, what we need to know is this. Does it mean that after February 10, that is after Friday, Nigerians could still be using the old notes? That's what we need to know. It's not about the three states, Kaduna, Nasarawa, and Kogi. They went to the Supreme Court, obtained a restraining order, blah, 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 blah. We already know that Buhari administration doesn't obey Supreme Court order. So we are not going to be surprised if the February 10 deadline is still enforced, because he is in control of virtually every sector in Nigeria. So to tell us that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, and CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, they made the decision, and this is the first time they are extending it. Before it was January 31st, and they extended it to February 10, and then 2 states out of 36 states, 2 states, not even part of the states that is generating enough revenue in this country. You're not talking of Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt. You are talking of Kogi, Kaduna, and Nasarawa, and the 3 of them are going to court. What happened to the other state? And you think CBN governor and Buhari will listen to these people? If you have your old notes, it's better you just go and deposit it. It's better you have it at the bank and it's not yet dispensed than for the money to become useless. That's my own suggestion.